विक्रोळी कक्ष मध्ये आपलं वकील कक्ष आहे, वकील कक्ष यामध्ये कोऑपरेटिव्ह सोसायटीचे काय कायदे असतात आणि त्या कायद्याची कशी अंमलबजावणी केली जाते त्याची सर्वसामान्यांना माहिती नसते, वकिलांना नसते. त्यातले तज्ञ आपण आपल्या कार्यकारिणीच्या माध्यमातून विनोदजी संपत, ॲडव्होकेट विनोदजी संपत साहेब आज आपल्याला त्यासाठी स्पेशली मार्गदर्शन करण्यासाठी आलेले आहेत. आम्ही विक्रोळी वकील संघटना त्यांचं मनापासून स्वागत करते, कारण त्यांचं ह्या प्रत्येक क्षेत्रामध्ये कोऑपरेटिव्ह क्षेत्रामध्ये खूप मोठं नावाजलेले आहेत. त्यांनी अनेक पुस्तकं लिहिलेली आहेत आणि त्यांचं आज ज्ञान आपल्याला प्राप्त होत आहे. ही अतिशय भाग्याची गोष्ट आहे. मी त्यांचं मनापासून आमच्या विक्रोळी वकील संघटनेमध्ये स्वागत करतो आणि पुढील कारवाईसाठी आपले संघटनेचे सचिव सन्माननीय पुढील साहेब यांना विनंती करतो त्यांनी पुढील कारवाई करावी.
Welcome all the members who are present here and the associate of Advocate, Senior Advocate Adv Vinod Sampat. In pursuance of our commitment to enhance and upgrade our knowledge, today we have arranged a lecture on Co-operative Societies Act and bylaws, which are very much relevant and prevalent in today's times. As the number of increasing of the buildings and societies is going on, so this law is going to help us very much. Who has a practice of 35 years, more than 35 years in this field. We welcome him with a wholeheartedly, and it's our honor to have him here. Before proceeding further, I would like to request our President, Mr. Samadhan, to welcome Mr. Vinod Bhai with a bouquet as a mark of respect and love for him.
Friends, our friend Vinod has shared one set of his books, Check to our reporter, which I have no hesitation in saying will be of immense help to professionals of the Vikhroli Bar Association, and he has also promised us to do communication in due course. And he had told me to give present it to the Vikhroli Bar Association
because he has such a long-lasting career in our advocacy. But in short, he has practiced of more than 35 years, graduated from Podar College, represented his college in Inter-Collegiate Chess Championship. He has done his LLB from Siddharth College, and he has written more than 80 books in the cooperative society, transfer of land, recovery of dues, registration and stamp duty, etc. He is a prolific writer also, wherein more than 800 articles on property related matters has been published or quoted in various newspapers, magazines, TV channels like Times of India, Midday, DNA, Hindustan, Indian Express, Economic, etc., etc. It's long line. His column also appear in the Midday Times of India Supplementary, Property Times, and some of you might have seen in CNBC channel program Property Guru, besides a number of other TV channels. In the last 30 years, only 7 persons has been nominated or appointed or given the honorary patron membership by the State Agent Association of India. He is one of them. He is also honorary advisor of the Federation of Accommodation Industry of India. He is on the panel of advisors of Maharashtra Chambers of Housing Industry. He has been in the committee of the non-occupancy charges from the cooperative department. He is also on the panel of the administration and inquiry officers appointed by the Register of Cooperative Societies. He is the president of Registration Fee and Stamp Duty Payers Association. Not only this, he is also the recipient of the prestigious Accommodative Times Award for his contribution towards stamp duty matters in the year 1994. He has also received the Accommodation Times Award for his contribution to cooperative society matters in the year 1995. President of the Cooperative Society Residents and User Association. He is also eminent public speaker and who has delivered lectures at Lions Club, JC Club, Rotary Clubs, State Agent Association of India, and many others. Federation of Accommodation of India, Chambers of Income Tax Consultants, besides the lectures organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India at Bombay, Pune, Mathेरान, Mahabaleshwar, Aurangabad and Sirdi. And he has also pointed out some of the irregularities in Maharashtra Stamp Act, and accordingly that irregularity has been rectified by the concerned department. He has also delivered lecture at the various study circles of the Western India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and suggestions of readers. He is a very busy advocate. In spite of busy schedules, he has taken some time for us, and he is going to deliver lectures on the society's laws and the bylaws and other acts. As he delivers the lectures or gives the notes on something, his colleague Advocate Ekta Jain simultaneously will forward the relevant judgment or the articles in our Lawyers versus Firm group. So the most of the advocates who are sitting here, you can take that printout as per your convenience or read it at a later stage. So it's going to be a long lengthy session, but in very short manner. And Vinod bhai will also agree to me, if the reason is that the cooperative society is very vast, we cannot be summarized or precise in a span of 45 minutes or 1 hour. So we have requested him to come to the point, so the major portion or the major points are discussed today, and we are benefited from his knowledge, experience and guidance. Without wasting any much time, I would like to hand over this mic to today's speaker, Honorable Shri Vinod Sampat. Some of the associates of Vinod bhai is also present here. His son, Mr. Adv Sampat, is also with us. One of the colleagues, Ekta Jain and Suleiman Bibani is also present, and other colleagues are here from his chamber. So we can say today we have got the chamber of Advocate Vinod Sampat in our association. Nobody is in the office. So I will request you to get the maximum knowledge, maximum experience and maximum guidance from him, because this is the one of the lecture which will be delivered by him free of cost. You don't have to pay for that. But our wishes, our love and affection is always with him. We wish him very best of luck in his future adventures, and here's the mic for Mr. Vinod bhai.
My gratitude and satisfaction to our President Samadhan ji for organizing this 6th lecture in a short span of time under his captaincy. We all are fortunate that we have got the stamp vendor in Vikhroli Bar Association, and the building of the Vikhroli Court is seeing fast progress under the guidance of our Captain Samadhan. Had this lecture been organized 2-3 months ago, I would have seen most of you as strangers. But today, I am proud to be part of this august organization, for which I am indebted to Vikhroli Bar Association. I will share my experience related to property matters, cooperative societies. All of us are staying in a house, whether that house is in a cooperative society or a tenanted building. A house for the builder may be constructed with cement, sand, steel and concrete. But for us it is a passion, a dream, hard work and dedication of years, decades together when we have our own house. Cooperative societies we deal with, it helps us in regulating the day-to-day activities. We have the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960, Maharashtra Cooperative Society Rules 1961 and the bylaws of the society. In a lighter vein, we say, by to law. Byla सारखा माणूस आहे. सेक्रेटरी सांगणार बायलॉ मध्ये हे लिहिलेलं आहे, आणि वास्तविकतामध्ये किती जगाला आपण बघते बायलॉ नाही पण बायलॉ आहे, आणि ते आपल्याला गमतसाठी मी सांगते आणि वास्तविकता पण तसंच आहे. तुम्ही कोणत्याही हॉटेलमध्ये जावा आणि त्याला सांगा की तुम्ही 5 जगह एन्क्रोच केली आहे, तर काय तुम्हाला भेटणार, तर तुम्हाला माहित आहे 1 वे ट्रॅफिकच होणार. गंमतचा दुसरा एक दाखला सांगते मी तुम्हाला. मुंबईमध्ये, महाराष्ट्रामध्ये करीबन 50,000 सोसायटी आहे. हे 50,000 सोसायटीचा मॅनेजमेंट आहे ना, डेप्युटी रजिस्ट्रार लोक करते. प्रत्येक वॉर्डला एक डेप्युटी रजिस्ट्रार असते आणि त्याच्या हाताखाली 1,500 ते 2,000 सोसायटीज असते. बँड्रामध्ये एक सोसायटी आहे, मित्र परिवार कोऑपरेटिव्ह हाऊसिंग सोसायटी लिमिटेड. हे सोसायटीचे प्रत्येक मेंबर डेप्युटी रजिस्ट्रार, असिस्टंट रजिस्ट्रार, DDR जॉईंट रजिस्ट्रार राहिलेला आहे आणि त्याची स्वतःची सोसायटीसाठी त्या लोकांना ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटरची गरज वाटते. ते कहावत आहे ना, टू मेनी कुक्स स्पॉइल द फूड, अँड दॅट हॅपन्स इनव्हेरिएबली. आता आपल्याला कोविडमध्ये एक बरंच लेसन सगळ्याला भेटला आहे, अँड वी नो द इम्पॉर्टन्स ऑफ सेव्हिंग्स. So I am trying to take a few points which can be helpful to my advocate friends, particularly younger generation, because they have been struggling very hard. From your point of view, friends, cooperative society is a very good area of practice. Let me illustrate the same. We ourselves and our friends all stay in house. By and large, more than 60% of our friends may be staying in a cooperative housing society, where you can utilize their friendship advantage, not with the view of earning money, but with the view of sharing knowledge. For example, each one of us may be having 10 to 20 friends. Whenever you meet friends, you can tell them, it is in your interest, प्लीज मेक अ विल ऑफ योर पेरेंट्स. वास्तविक जीवन में क्या होता है कि फादर और मदर ओल्ड एज आती है. मान लो पिताजी को 2 लड़के हैं और 1 लड़की है, तो अपने धर्म के मुताबिक, चाहे इंग्लिश है, हिंदू है, मुस्लिम है या कोई भी धर्म है, तो जब शादी का वक्त आता है तो पिताजी लड़की को जो है देना रहता है, अपनी यथास्थिति के मुताबिक देते हैं. और एजम्पशन ऐसा रहता है कि लड़के के पास ही बाकी की प्रॉपर्टी रहेगी, फ्लैट रहेगा. कानून ये कहता है कि जितना लड़के का हिस्सा है उतना ही लड़की का हिस्सा है. बेटी अपनी है पर दामाद तो पराया है, और 100 में से 2 केस में, 3 केस में लिटिगेशन आ सकता है. तो ये आप एक अच्छी दोस्त के रूप में सलाह देते हो मेंबर को, फ्रेंड्स को, वेलविशर्स को, और शायद आपको बिजनेस मिले या न मिले वो दूसरी बात है, पर डेफिनेटली उसका भलाई होने के चांसेस ज़्यादा है. इसलिए आपके फ्रेंड्स को सबको यू कैन सजेस्ट टू देम, प्लीज मेक अ विल, और हो सकता है वो आपको ही अप्रोच करेंगे विल बनाने के लिए. तो दिस कैन बी अ सोर्स ऑफ इनकम. उसी तरह से कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज में जो है अपन देखेंगे तो थोड़े ही सेक्शंस हैं. उसी तरह कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में भी थोड़े ही सेक्शंस हैं. आज के ज़माने में वी हैव टू ग्रो, एंड ग्रोथ will definitely be more fruitful if you expand your horizon, form a team and work not as an individual but as a team. We have seen the advantages of working as a team at many places. सब कुछ अपन खुद नहीं करते, we have to delegate, and that delegation is the must. उसी तरह से अपने इनकम में अपना कोर फील्ड है क्रिमिनल का, पर कई बार अपने को क्रिमिनल लॉस के बारे में भी मालूम नहीं रहता है. ये मेरा तजुर्बा है. लेट मी शेयर विथ यू. देयर इज वन सर्कुलर इश्यूड बाय IGP, सर्कुलर डेटेड 12/10/2015, issued by Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs, regarding compulsory registration of FIR under 154. My colleagues will be forwarding that particular circular simultaneously to all of you on our WhatsApp group. So when you are writing a letter to the police authorities, don't just go on making Lalita Devi judgment etc. शबनम जब घर पे जाके खाना बनाती है तो खाली बटाटा केक नहीं देती, उस पर मसाला डालती है, टेस्टी फूड बनाती है. इसीलिए जब आप पुलिस के पास लेटर लिखते हो तो आर्ट के साथ लिखो, ड्रामेटाइज द फैक्ट्स. आई विल गिव यू अ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स ऑफ ड्रामेटाइजेशन ऑफ फैक्ट्स. मान लो मैटर है कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी. अगर सोसाइटी में छोटी सी गलती है तो आप बोलोगे मेरे को छोटी सी गलती है उसके लिए दो, तो कोई जवाब भी नहीं देगा, इट विल जस्ट गो इन अ वेस्ट पेपर बास्केट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग। इंटेंसिटी उतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं रहेगी। पर आप उसी कागज में से लिखोगे कि ये कागज, ये सोसाइटी है, इसमें 100 फ्लैट है और 100 फ्लैट में जो है करीबन हर एक फ्लैट की दाम 2 करोड़ है, तो ये 200 करोड़ का एप्रीहेंशन, माय एप्रीहेंशन इज देयर इज अ फाइनेंशियल इरेगुलरिटी इन अ प्रॉपर्टी वर्थ 200 करोड़। तो अपने को मालूम है हाउ कोऑपरेटिव ऑफिसर्स आर देयर, पुलिस ऑफिसर्स आर देयर, हाउ कोऑपरेटिव दे आर, एंड हो सकता है 200 करोड़ का फिगर इटसेल्फ कैन बी द मैजिक फिगर व्हिच मे टेम्प्ट हिम टू टेक इंटरेस्ट स्लाइटली मोर देन व्हाट ही इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू टेक। इसी तरह से आई विल गिव यू अ फ्यू मोर एग्जांपल्स ऑफ ड्रामाटाइजेशन ऑफ फैक्ट। मैंने एक नोटिस मारी थी, एक सोसाइटी का हमारा मैटर था, प्रैक्टिकली मेनी लीडिंग film heroines were involved in that society. It was used for health club. You name any film heroine, करिश्मा कपूर, करीना कपूर, उर्मिला मातोडकर, शाहरुख खान की वाइफ, किम शर्मा, काफी हीरोइंस थी। वो सबको मैंने एक ही नोटिस में दिया था। Secretaries I used to get their phone. What was the issue? There was a gym in a cooperative society. तो वो जिम जो था उसमें ये लोग सुबह को आते थे बुर्का पहन के, बिकॉज दे डिड नॉट वांट टू रियलाइज दैट इंट्रोड्यूस देमसेल्व्स। तो इस तरह से करने से, बिकॉज वी इश्यूड सच नोटिसेस, वी गॉट वेरी गुड रिजल्ट्स। एज व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट अ पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट, अभी एक प्रॉपर्टी का दूसरा ड्रामेटाइजेशन का मैं एग्जांपल मेरा ही देता हूँ, वो शायद मैंने इसमें प्रेजेंट नहीं किया है, that will be presented by me while giving this lecture. एक बार क्या हुआ, मेरे क्लाइंट को फ्लैट में जो था उसको बिल्डर के साथ डिस्प्यूट हुआ। तो जब बिल्डर के साथ डिस्प्यूट हुआ तो we were not getting any response. When we were not getting any response, we approached the police. Police also did not respond to us the way we had anticipated. There was literally no response from police, no response from BMC. Nowhere we were getting response. The client approached me. We take small things for granted. Very much we take it very casually for granted. और उसके लिए we ourselves could be losers at many point of time. जब एक एग्रीमेंट बनता है ना, तो बिल्डर खुद का काम शॉर्ट करने के लिए क्या करते हैं, एक पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी डेलीगेट कर देते हैं उसके आदमी को। वो आदमी जो रहता है वो सब बिल्डर्स के डॉक्यूमेंट्स को, पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी को वो रजिस्टर करता है। तो ये केस में क्या हुआ, बिल्डर ने ऐसा एक पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी दिया था, और बिल्डर लोग जब भी गलती करते हैं ना, छोटी गलती नहीं करते, उन लोग का शिक्षर ही रहता है। हिम्मत के तौर पे बिल्डर, यानी कभी बिल का डर रहता नहीं है। बाय बैक, यानी मेरे से बाय करो, मेरी बैक देखो। लीकेज तो क्या गारंटी है, 24 घंटा पानी मिलेगा नल में से या दीवार में से। और बिल्डर की सही पहचान माप में ही पाप है। कारपेट एरिया, बिल्टअप एरिया, सुपर बिल्टअप डिलक्स, सेलेबल, ये छोटी चीज को कैसे बड़ी करने का उसका एग्जाम्पल। जैसे कि मैं आपको कह रहा था, तो बिल्डर ने उसके एग्रीमेंट में एक एजेंट को दिया था और उसने 25 कंपनी का नाम डाला था, 15-20 कंपनी का। तो आप लोग को, कई लोग को मालूम भी रहेगा कि कंपनी लॉ बोर्ड की एक साइट है MCA 21। MCA 21 साइट में आप जाते हो ना, तो आपको सब बिल्डर्स के जो है, और जो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी रहती है ना, उसके सारे डायरेक्टर्स के नाम मिल जाते हैं। तो ये मैंने करीबन 75 से 80 नाम उसमें से मेरे को मिल गए डायरेक्टर्स के। और मजे की बात क्या था, जरा बिल्डर डेयरिंग बात था। तो बिल्डर ने क्या किया था, एक पुलिस के सीनियर ऑफिसर से उसने 1 करोड़ रुपया कैश में लिया था। और जो भी उन लोग का इंटरनल जो भी हो, अपने को उससे निस्बत नहीं है, पर ये एक पॉइंट जब मेरे को मिला, तो ऐसा अपनी एडवोकेसी कैसे प्ले करती है उसका मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ। मैंने आपको ये ग्रुप पे ऑलरेडी भेज दिया है, करीबन 70 जन को मैंने ये नोटिस भेज दी। और लास्ट पैराग्राफ उसमें क्या लिखा मैंने, वो मैं आपको पढ़ के सुनाता हूँ। क्रिमिनल वायलेशन वगैरह 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 मैंने उस पे ये लिखा, My clients have reasons to believe that in the alleged anticipated bail application number so and so, Sri so and so, they have made a submission that they have paid a sum of rupees 1 crore by cash to so and so. My client requests the income tax authorities to investigate the said submissions being made by Sri so and so. My client requests the income tax authorities to investigate the above said submission and take action as per due process of law. My client says that submit that it is common knowledge that no one pays a sum of rupees 1 crore by cash. My clients have reasons to believe that is a clear-cut violations of IT Act वगैरह सबमिशन एंटिसिपेटेड बेल का केस का रेफरेंस देते। मजे की बात क्या हुई, कई लोग के फोन आने लगे, संपत साहब तुमने तो ये लिख दिया, अभी हमको सबको हमारे इनकम टैक्स के रिटर्न में सब प्रॉफिट ज्यादा दिखाना पड़ेगी, कई एंट्रीज निकालनी पड़ेगी और हमको पुलिस से सपोर्ट नहीं था। ये मैटर में म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर वाज कॉल्ड बाय हाई कोर्ट इन पर्सन। एडिशनल ये जो भी है उसको भी एडिशनल सीपी को भी ये मैटर में कोर्ट में बुलाया गया था बिकॉज द स्टेक्स आर वेरी हाई। ये हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है, उसमें क्लियर कट बताया गया था कि वाज कॉल्ड मिस्टर सो एंड सो एडिशनल कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंस इन मुंबई शैल रिमेन प्रेजेंट इन कोर्ट ऑन सो एंड सो डे। तो एक छोटा सा प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड का एग्जाम्पल है ये कि जिससे आपको सामने वाले को कैसे प्रेशर देवे। और हमारे लक फेवर कर रहे थे कि ये मैटर आया था काथा वाला के पास और काथा वाला को ने हमको तो बैड लक था, हमने खाली 4 करोड़ मांगे थे, हमको 4 करोड़ भी मिले। काथा वाला को उससे भी संतोष नहीं हुआ क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा तो दे नहीं सकते क्योंकि हमने मांगे थे 4 करोड़। वो एक वन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर बिल्डर ही वेंट अवे टू दुबई। तो काथा वाला ने गवर्नमेंट को बोला कि ये सब क्योंकि अपने यहाँ इंग्लिश चलते हैं, वहाँ अरेबिक लैंग्वेज चलता है, तो गवर्नमेंट कॉस्ट ही गॉट द होल फाइल ट्रांसलेटेड इनटू अरेबिक और उसने अरेबिया उधर के दुबई की कोर्ट में ये केस चला है। तो कई बार आपका लक जो फेवर करता है बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड। अगर सिंपल मैन लिखता था कोई देखता भी नहीं था। अभी उसके 50-75 जन को मैंने नोटिस का कॉपी भी भेजा है अभी आप लोग को। 50 से 75 जन को जो इनकम टैक्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्या इम्प्लीकेशन हुआ रहेगा क्या रहेगा, दे गॉट अ वेरी गुड लेसन। सो दिस इज व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। यू डोंट गो just with a limited thing. We are all like frogs in a well. वो खाली अपन फ्रॉग के बारे अपने वेल के बारे में सोचते हैं और दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है एंड यू हैव टू एक्सपांड योर हॉराइजन कि अपन ऐसा सोचेंगे ये मेरे पास क्लाइंट आया है और मान लो अपन ने थोड़ा ज़्यादा भी सर्विस दिया अपने क्लाइंट को फ्रेंड को, जैसे कि अपन एक रिकमेंडेशन किया कि तुम तुम्हारे फैमिली में सबको बोल दो बिल बना ले रहे, अगर उसने अपने को फी भी नहीं दिया जैसे कि मेरे इंट्रोडक्शन में बताया गया फ्री में दे रहा है और इनडायरेक्टली लेट मी एश्योर यू एंड टेल यू द वर्ड फ्री ऑल्सो इंक्लूड्स फी इन इट। फ्री में से आर निकाल डालते हैं तो फी आ जाती है, तो ये फी आपको या तो कैश में मिलेगी या तो दुआ में मिलेगी। तो ये दोनों तरह से आपका फायदा ही होने वाला है। बट यू शुड हैव अ सेल्फलेस हार्ट टू सर्व द मेंबर्स ऑफ द पब्लिक। गॉड हैज गिवन अस मेनी थिंग्स, वी have been more successful than many other people, so we have got some duty towards the society also। जैसे कि समाधान जी इतना सोशल वर्क करते हैं, विक्रोली जी सोशल वर्क करते हैं, तो अपन थोड़ा समाज को देते हैं तो there is nothing wrong in it। First I will concentrate on the dramatization of facts point। मैं और मेरी वाइफ है ना एक बार ऑर्किड होटल में गए थे तो हमको कुछ सर्विस नहीं मिली। आज नॉर्मल आदमी क्या करेगा, वो मैनेजर को लेटर लिखेगा, थोड़ा बीपी हाई करेगा, ये सब करेगा और उधर बाद में छोड़ देगा और वो जो भी रहेगा। व्हाट डू यू एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम अ सेल्स गर्ल? वो केक और वाइन का जो कूपन है वो नहीं दिया था। तो हाउ टू गिव, दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड। तो ऑर्चिड में हम थे, मैं लिखता था चिट्ठी तो उसका मैनेजर में जाके ऐसा कोल्ड स्टोरेज में गिरा रहता था। तो आई से लेट मी यूज अपना ये जो स्ट्रेटेजी है ना, हाउ वी कैन यूज इट इन अ बेटर मैनर। आप में से कई लोग ऑर्चिड में गए रहेगा, हु ऑल हैव गॉन इन ऑर्चिड, जस्ट दे कैन रेज देयर हैंड्स। बराबर है, ऑर्चिड का टेरेस कितना अच्छा ब्यूटीफुल टेरेस है। तो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने स्टेट पे प्राइम मिनिस्टर को चिट्ठी लिखी, सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्टर को चिट्ठी लिखी। क्या लिखा चिट्ठी में कि सर, अमेरिका रिसेंटली हैड अ 9/11 इंसिडेंट which resulted in the 2 towers being demolished. If you look at Orchid Hotel, you can easily shoot a plane fully loaded with petrol with an ordinary gun. और आपको ताज्जुब लगेगा, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस sent this letter to चीफ सेक्रेटरी एंड चीफ सेक्रेटरी को जैसे चिट्ठी गया तो ऑब्वियसली उन लोग के भी कनेक्शन रहते थे। कामत साहब का मेरे को फोन आया कि संपत साहब चाय से किटली करो, मैं माफी मांगने को कभी आऊँ। कहने का मतलब आई थिंक यू हैव सेंड दिस थिंग, शेयर दिस पर्टिकुलर प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस लेटर विद ऑल। So all these things what I am saying now is an example of dramatization of facts. जब भी आप ड्रामेटाइज करते हो आपके फैक्ट्स को, तो आपको रिजल्ट्स जो दूसरे लोग को मिलते हैं उससे ज्यादा मिलने के चांसेस है। ऐसा ही मेरा एक दूसरा एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ। मैंने सिटी में स्टैंप ऑफिस के बाजू में स्टेट बैंक जो मैंने जब बोर्ड मार दिया था, ये हमारे पार्किंग है, किसी को पार्क नहीं करने देते थे। मैंने भी गाड़ी लगाई, मेरे को नहीं करने दिया। So I wrote about it to police, chief minister, deputy chief minister, including RBI to cancel the license of State Bank of India. So we got a letter in writing confirming that those parking on public road will be vacated. State Bank won't be able to park it, and we got a very satisfactory result of this. And newspapers also carrying that article के वकील को पार्किंग नहीं दिया, वो स्टेट बैंक को भारी गिर गया और उनके 9 पार्किंग जो थे खाली हो गए। That also letter this is being shared with you. Now coming to the specific aspects, how as an advocate you can earn, because that is what is more interesting to every one of us. As I mentioned, all of us are staying either in an ownership premises or in a tenanted building. जब सोसाइटी में अपन रहते हैं without naming any individual, are you aware that the exclusive right to do legal correspondence is exclusively with advocates? Our bar council has specifically taken a few pains connected with this particular subject matter, and if you are familiar and if you take up these things in a better manner, you stand to gain a lot. I am sharing with you one letter written by our Bar Council of India to the Principal Secretary Corporation and Principal and Commissioner for Corporation. The gist of the letter is, as per the provisions of Advocates Act, only advocates can do legal correspondence. You might have come across many places where, apart from lawyers, other professionals, other consultants are writing letters, which is specifically true in case of deed conveyance. So-called consultants are doing correspondence at the expense of bona fide members of the society. Our Bar Council has specifically written letters. The gist I will read it out. Practice of law will before cooperative department. Bar Council has received complaint so and so. And similarly, complaint is lodged to the deputy registrar. It is to be noted that authority letter can only authorize interested persons like family members or other members of that cooperative society to represent. Being a letter written by the Bar Council of Maharashtra to Commissioner for Corporation and Principal Secretary, you will understand and appreciate the efforts being taken. Section 33 of the Advocates Act stipulates advocates alone entitled to practice, except as otherwise provided in this act or in any other law for the time being in force. No person on or after the appointed date be entitled to practice in any court or before any authority or person unless he is enrolled under the Advocates Act. Section 45, penalty for persons illegally practicing in court and before other authorities. Penalty for persons illegally practicing in courts and before other authorities. Any person who practices in any court or before any authority or person in or before whom he is not entitled to practice under the provisions of this act shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months. Now, as advocates, if you find your opponent in some quasi-judicial authority, the chartered accountant, company secretary or a consultant, the moment you will write this type of letters, not only your confidence will increase, but the confidence of the other party will drastically go down, and you being criminal law lawyers practicing in criminal law know the implications of the particular prosecutions being taken up. So I always appeal to all my friends, don't look at a problem just as a problem. The real problem is not the problem, but the reaction to the problem is the real problem. So if you are able to analyze the thing and present it in a particular way, then definitely you have a better chance of gaining more in the field of compromise, discussion. And there are many people, once after a particular stage, they don't talk of money. Money is a byproduct after that, because at particular level, money will not be talked. The results are more important. Now let me give you another example in a cooperative society. If I have to put it humorously, amongst the 26 alphabets A and Z, one alphabet is I, and the distance from the alphabet I to the word V takes light years to get it resolved, because cooperative societies you will find full of ego issues, and those ego issues obviously gives good income to advocates. Both sides think they have got superior knowledge, but believe me, let me share with you one simple thing. In my more than 35 years of practice, I have not seen a single society which follows all the laws of the land. If a person like me is making a statement that in my 35 years of practice, I have not seen a single society functioning as per the laws of the land. So you can give whatever benefit or listing the intensity of the truth, how much wrong things are going on in a cooperative society. Classic example of the same is the treasurer of the society is supposed to give security to the society that he will not run away with the money of the society. So many people are sitting here. Can one person vouch for the fact that in his society, treasurer has given security to the society? The idea behind this thing is the area of practice where if you are fully equipped with the knowledge of the laws of the land, obviously you will have an upper hand and you will get so many opportunities. In a cooperative society, we have a managing committee. Let me put it humorously, the definition of managing committee. A committee is a group of useless people discussing useless issues with an assured return that nothing is going to come out of the discussion. And we know 2 घंटा 3 घंटा WWF कर लेंगे, खाना आएगा, मीटिंग को बोलो और भाग जाओ. So this invariably happens in many spheres of life. Cooperative society, when we talk of cooperative societies, after a particular period you are entitled for conveyance. आज आप कोई भी society में जाओगे, there is a probability that 80% of the cooperative societies don't have conveyance. And our friend someone promotes deep conveyance. But in deep conveyance, bulk of the thing we know, in my opinion, is more of speed money than actual work. So as an advocate, if you are a cooperative society, समझो आपका opponent एक ही member आपका client है, तो भी आपको मजा है, क्योंकि उसने पैसा दिया है कोई consultant को, और मैंने आपके सामने law provision share किया है that consultant is not eligible to spend money or represent the society. So straight away you take a stand that this money is wrongfully spent by the managing committee, and all these amounts paid to so and so consultant should be recovered from the managing committee members. Irrespective of the fact, whatever may be the final outcome of that thing, that will give a good amount of WWF to the managing committee members, and your client, even if he is an individual, he will be very happy with the satisfaction. अगर आपके हाथ में बैट है और बॉल को कोई भी डायरेक्शन में आप भेजोगे, तो हो सकता है किसी न किसी का काज फूटने वाला ही है. इसी तरह से when you are equipped with knowledge and you are using the knowledge in the right way, you are bound to get good results. And believe me, never try to show something. Your work will speak for itself. You don't have to show. Your work, your results will automatically reflect the things. I was giving you example of dramatizing the facts. One of my other style of functioning is, I know one letter is to be written to the police. Ultimately it boils down to the senior inspector of police. But what is the harm writing that letter to 12 police officers with reference of the circulars of the cooperative department, of the ITP? I am talking of the central level, Delhi. From Delhi where the circulars are given, I quoted the circular number. I have already shared that circular with you. My colleagues have already shared. So in your letter when you are writing, the chances are that that police officer will not know. I have come across so many instances where even DCPs are not aware of laws except for normal IPC. For example, there is one law, Security Guard Board Act. Under Section 4 and Section 20 of the Security Guard Board Act, if there is a commercial society and they are employing a watchman or a security agency they are appointing, then you have to pay them something 20,000 rupees approximately minimum salary per month. Do you think any of the security industrial estates are paying 20,000? And it is a cognizable offence. Our Vikhroli Court, this only our Vikhroli Bar, here only in the case of I forgot the name. In this bar only, this Vikhroli Court only has passed orders convicting the person. Of course, the person, the security person, confessed himself of the wrong thing, so he was not sentenced in a very particular harsh way. The court stated that because of the violation of this, you are fined a token sum of 25,000 plus till the rising of the court you have to stay here. That way the verdict was given. That also in some point of time I will share with you, because right now my colleagues don't have that, but definitely I will share with you in a few moments from now. So as I was telling you, there are many laws which the person who is supposed to monitor the law, he himself does not know. And that is where your hard work and reading will come in picture. Try to exploit the situation in a very fair manner based on your research of reading and studying the problem. Let me come to you on the problem of conveyance. The promoter to convey, write title and etc. in the property. In my view, cooperative society should not at all give importance for conveyance. Conveyance is a small byproduct. You have to insist for getting original documents of title to the property, building completion certificate, audited statement of accounts, original documents of title to the property, your name in the city survey record, the property tax bill in your name, property card in your name, water bill in your name. What happens is, if you want to get the record property card transferred in your name, automatically it has to be first, the conveyance has to be executed. How many of you are aware of the fact that once you have booked a flat, builder has got no right of any nature whatsoever to change the building plan without consent of each and every flat purchaser. In the landmark judgment delivered by the Bombay High Court in the case of Dina Wadia versus Venus Builders, it has been specifically held that blanket consent obtained at the time of signing of agreement is no consent at all. The consent has to be meaningful and effective. Here in Vikhroli Court only one order was passed related to car parking. It was against Godrej, State of Maharashtra, your Vikhroli project. Many times, though we are staying in a particular area, we don't know the right things. If I tell you, in this Vikhroli area, a 3.5 bedroom price, what it will be? It's a guess I am asking every one of you. What would be the price approximately of a 3.5 bedroom flat in Vikhroli? How much crore? 1 crore, 2 crore.
2.75.
If you just do Google,
3.5.
if you just do Google, trees project here at Vikhroli, it is 5.5 crores. That also nobroker.com, where there is no broker. Because दलाल का काम है दरेक का लाल करके फुटका काम करा लेना. ये दलाल का काम है. But this today morning only I was doing the research because I was coming here for a lecture. So we are not aware of the intricacies and quality things which are available in Vikhroli. Here we have got Vikhroli Social. Some of you must have gone But it is a very good ambience place, which I occasionally come because from Ghatopar I find it near. So whole ambience changes the moment you come out of this Kanamanagar and go to Godrej project. The Vikhroli social, that whole ambience plus that trees, that project, amazing it is. So what I am trying to do is, I am trying to emphasize is not to go and just party there, but to do the proper research. And if your research is strong, results are just a byproduct. In a cooperative society, we always talk about transfers. Transfer is a contract between the outgoing member and the incoming member, and with a view to have the involvement of the society. Earlier years, only 1 rupee was the transfer fee which could be taken. Now, which with the passage of time has increased to 25,000. No cooperative society, legally speaking, can charge you more than 25,000 under the Act share fixing. This is also one particular grey area where you can suggest all your friends that if society has charged you more amount, you can safely bring that person to Metropolitan Magistrate Court, plus take steps to disqualify the managing committee member. See what happens is, I will tell you, bulk of the people's vision is I should get justice. When I was in college or school days, there was one book of James Hadley case by the name Fear is the Key. Fear is the key which opens the locks and wallets of all the rich men. So the best way to get good results is to frighten him, get our work done. Because the moment you hit him very hard, he will become shameless. Nothing more you can harm him. But you have to put that particular pressure in such a way that he is always under fear and he negotiates and resolves the issue with your amicably. That will give you better results in my view, rather than closing the chapter immediately. Just like the doctors have a proverb, a humorous proverb: operation successful, patient expired. That should not happen. You have to ensure that you are able to get your work done. And that work many times is done because of pressure tactics and the right strategy within the framework of law. Don't break the law, but you can always bend the law. In a cooperative society, we have a circular dated 2nd November 2002. The sum and substance of that particular circular is defaulter cannot complain to the deputy registrar. And that particular circular, you can use it if it is a matter of cooperative society. Let me share with you one more thing which you can use it in your day-to-day practice. Many times it so happens that your clients are senior citizens. Our High Court has passed a circular on 3rd August 2009 that if it is any matter related to a senior citizen who has paid taxes throughout his life, then you can request any court in India, in Maharashtra, to take up the matter on a priority basis. My colleague must have already forwarded this particular circular to you, which you can utilize it whenever your matters are coming up before the Metropolitan Magistrate or even writing letters to the police, so that you are able to put your point in a better manner compared to other advocates who are presenting that same this thing. As far as conveyance matters is concerned, there have been times when consumer courts have given fast results. In one of my matters, which I believe is the fastest in Maharashtra, within a span of 128 days, I was able to get the conveyance of the cooperative society with cost duly contested. It is indeed an exception, I would say, that within 128 days conveyance with cost was received. In cooperative societies, we talk many a times about bylaws. As I mentioned to you, bylaw means by to law, bylaw. But in the eyes of law, bylaws do not have the force of law. Bylaws is a separate thing and law is separate thing. So just because something is written in the bylaws, that does not mean it is law. It is not a gospel truth like Bhagavad Gita, which cannot be wrong. Bylaws have so many wrong things in it. As an individual, you should know your strong point. If there is an old building and the society is not cooperating with you, you are within your right to get the structural audit of the building done if it is more than 30 years old and thereafter every 5 years. It has got to be done. Many times society's building structural audit is not done. Society gets the right to have some limited space, approximately 220 square feet for society office. That is not included in FSI. If your builder has given you office, well and good, otherwise you can take steps after getting conveyance and construct this particular room. It is not included in FSI. You have sometimes difficulty for parking a vehicle, but the law stipulates that even your visitors are entitled to park the vehicle in the building. Regulation 36 table 15 of the Development Control Regulation are crystal clear. As I mentioned to you, research is very important. You may be aware or not, I don't know, but in this Vikhroli area, for Mada buildings, the FSI TDR benefits which it will included is 10 to 12. So when you are going to negotiate with the builder, you just talk in a limited manner. But when you say, I understand you have got 10 to 12 FSI with TDR and FSI thing, the chances are you will be able to present your matter for negotiation with the builder in a much better manner because you are properly informed. Same is the case with redevelopment. When a builder approaches you for redevelopment, you have to have different strategies. For example, a few ladies should take, senior ladies should take an interest. They should tell the builder, देखो भाई साहब, जेंट्स को क्या मालूम है, वो तो घर में थोड़ी रहते हैं, घर में तो हम रहते हैं. तुम जेंट्स के साथ जो निगोशिएट करना है वो करो, पर एक चीज समझ लो भाई साहब, टॉयलेट के ऊपर की जगह है ना, उधर हमको स्टोरेज चाहिए. So that 6 feet roughly is the height of the person standing. And above that you say that हमको storage चाहिए तो उधर 3, 4, 5 feet की जगह मिल जावे. So you get a good height. Negotiation has to be done not in terms of extra area, but in terms of length and breadth, extra area. But you have to do negotiation in terms of length, breadth and height. Because if you have got a good height, you will have good air circulation and that space will be useful to you for storage purpose. When you are going for redevelopment of a building, you have to be blunt with the builder. You should form 3-4 teams. One team will always try to please the builder. The other team will try and ask very questions which will pinch the builder. For example, how much maximum construction you are going to do. Second thing, he says X. So we get the idea. We have a clause in the agreement that there won't be any additional construction more than that, or in the event more than that is there to be shared equally or whatever way you want. You will only get the construction cost. Second thing, when you are negotiating, how much time you will take to construct the building? You will say 3 years. Okay, supposing you are not constructing building in 3 years, then what? Then he will say, I will pay extra rent. So okay, you pay 1 year extra rent, then what? He will say again, I will increase the rent. You go, okay, after 5 years you are not done, then what? So like that, you should have the right to terminate the builder. Because what happens is, builders, the moment they come in the building, there are instances of so many stalled projects that they won't give you rent, they won't give you. So when you are drafting an agreement, always have this termination clause incorporated in it. They will try, builder will try to say, we will have an arbitrator. There is an impression at times that arbitrator is a commodity, manageable commodity. And at that time the fees of arbitration are such, those who are aware of this, they know that particular thing. Prachiben is aware of it, doing so many registration related things. That arbitrators' fees are such that normally societies are not able to achieve. So when you are drafting the development agreement, you should first say, there cannot be a better arbitrator than the courts. We don't want arbitration. And if at all you want arbitration, the entire fees will be paid by the developer in black and white. You should get it written. You should know the implications of taxation from income tax, GST point of view, and how the agreement is being drafted. Because from my experience of redevelopment agreement, there are instances where the secretary who is supposed to protect the interest of the society is normally managed by you should execute a development agreement without seeing the permanent alternate accommodation agreement draft which you are going to execute at a later date, and all the fine print should be known to you in advance. And the best way to know the fine prints in advance is you have to tell the builder, give me a sample of the agreement which you are going to execute with the new flat purchaser, because that is the document where you will get many ideas on the untold secrets pertaining to the property. You should also know that implications of the money which society is going to lose. For example, developers are very smart. They say only you have to take entrance look. The entrance is 100 rupees and 500 rupees share capital from the new coming member. You should insist for a fact sum to be recovered from him, because ultimately he is bound to be coming to you. You have to plan out your development in such a way that the newcomers are such that they are less in numbers compared to your strength, because they people, if I have paid 5 crores for a flat or 3 crores for a flat, the language, my tone will be entirely different. And the best way for that is we insist for a clause in the agreement that the builder who is coming will give possession to the new flat purchasers after a period of 3 months from the date we get the possession of the flat. So that by that time you can carry out your furniture, you can occupy comfortable places in the nature of parking, do grills, etc. And the newcomer will always be under you to a certain extent. Builders try to see that superior material is used for the new flat purchasers. So this should be one of your clause. According to me, money should not be the criteria as far as redevelopment is concerned. Indirect benefits are lasting benefits which should be given by more important. For example, today we have got stack parking, and we know that most of these stack parkings are only used for drying clothes and not for any other purpose. Who has the time, money to every now and then get the person appointed, remove the car from top, if the car gets damaged, the parking system is not working. So instead of negotiating more in terms of money or some area, you have to see that such administrative bottlenecks do not last long. And you are aware of the fact that builder is a visiting faculty in the life of the building. So the things which are to be given importance has to be taken into consideration from various aspects and not just from one or two particular aspects. You should know that in a cooperative society cannot refuse membership on the grounds of caste, creed, religion, sex. Parking issues, I have already told you. Whatever may be written in the agreement of the builder, that is not the gospel truth. We had earlier a model agreement. And in model agreement, it is written to such an extent that you cannot even dream. I will give you one example. Bombay, we blame the builders as this, the builders are that. But are you aware that builders in USA, they have even sold land on moon? They themselves have not gone on moon, but they have sold land on moon. So we know this thing. I am told Eiffel Tower has been sold 5 times. So just don't go, whatever blanket things are written in the agreement. Even if it is written in the agreement, it has got no value, because model agreement specifies the FSI, what will be there, the statutory clauses are there. And those statutory clauses always supersede contractual obligations. Of course, now RERA has come, but RERA also, let me share with you, experience of RERA is not that good. What happens is, invariably RERA is trying to favor the builder in one way or another. And I would suggest any of you who have got any disputes with the builder, the better option in my view is to approach the consumer forum for deficiency of service and unfair trade practice. Consumer courts are so much powerful that you can take criminal action against the builder. You don't even have to come to Metropolitan Magistrate Court, and it is so fast. The less the sale, it is better. No doubt, there are administrative bottlenecks, it takes time. But builders fear consumer forum, consumer courts much more compared to RERA. Your civil plus criminal remedy is there, and definitely if you know how to tap it, consumer courts, because they have got the benefit of interim applications to be submitted, and under interim applications you can get good results. For example, today you have got a dispute with the builder. Instead of just taking the angle of a fight, you are asking from day one, give me form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4. The whole anatomy of the builder, the whole astrology will come to you. How many flats he has sold, what rate he has sold, everything. And on that you can organize that fight to it in a better manner. Many times what happens, the flat purchases 504 flat. After a few days he shifts to 604 or a bigger flat. they do deed of rectification, all these things. So if you have done the proper homework, right to information, everything you have, you can tap the builder in a better manner. I always tell my clients, whenever you are going to purchase a flat from the builder, you take your sister, wife or your girlfriend with you or secretary, and her role when you go to the builder is nothing more but to record the conversation, because the good things, sweet words being used by the builder plus the number two things which are being spoken, it can be nicely caught, and the chances and probabilities of a lady recording the things and the builder even having a doubt of her taking action will not be that much compared to that of a male. So you should know how to play your cards in a very practical manner. These things will definitely help you in the long run. Now supposing you are an individual and you have got a fight with the society and you will say मेरे को इतना तकलीफ है, who is going to listen to you? आपको कतार में आ जाओ. But if you, as I mentioned to you, खाने में जब लेडीज स्वादिष्ट भोजन बना के लिए तेल मसाला डालते हैं, तो उसी तरह से आपकी कोई कंप्लेन है सोसाइटी के सामने, तो you have to explore the working territory in the nature of unauthorized construction done by XYZ. मैंने जैसे आपको बोला कि आपके हाथ में बैट है, तो आप बॉल को कोई भी डायरेक्शन में फोड़ो, किसी ना किसी का काट फूटेगा. The chances are there that in the building, each area, drying space area, unauthorized construction में भी दो फ्लैट मर्ज किए गए हैं, या तो नीचे एरिया को आगे बढ़ाया है, आगे का एरिया लिया है. So there you require the skill, and if you have got some architect friends and if you take their help, definitely you will have one plus thing. The moment this notice, this particular legal notice goes from multiple angles, police angle for transfer of charges taken, extra extortion, non-occupancy extra लिया है, वो पुलिस के एंगल को टच करो. सिक्योरिटी गार्ड एजेंसी रखा है इंडस्ट्रियल प्रीमाइसेस में, तो उसमें भी सिक्योरिटी गार्ड बोर्ड इज अ कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस वो लो. अनऑथराइज्ड कंस्ट्रक्शन बीएमसी को लो, रजिस्टर्ड ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज को लो. ऐसे 5-6 एंगल में आप मल्टीपल वे में आप अटैक करते हो. कई सोसाइटीज में जीएसटी का पैसा नहीं लिया जाता है, तो वो जीएसटी को भी इन्वॉल्व कर लो. ऐसे करने से तो क्या है, you stand a comfortable position in your bargaining with the society to resolve the issue. Ultimately, we don't have that much time, but fear is the key which opens the locks and wallets of many rich men, and you should know the art of getting your work done. That is very, very important. Rather than once the matter goes in courts now, then law will take its own course. But your strategy should be such the matter does not go to the court. In between only you are able to satisfy and get your results. हिंदी भाषा में कल का मतलब yesterday भी होता है और कल भी होता है. इसलिए कोर्ट में जाएगा तो कल, आज और कल का वो खेल चालू रहेगा. And once the matter goes at that level, उसमें वकीलों के सिवा अपने सिवा किसी का भला नहीं होता है. ऐसा कई बार देखा गया है. कानून की भाषा में nominee is merely a trustee of the property. He does not get any ownership right in the property. So the best way when you are drafting a document, by all means, please make a nomination. But you have to educate your clients and well-wishers and friends that you are making a nomination. It is good, but please make a will. अगर आपको काम देवे तो आपके लिए इनकम है, ना भी देवे तो दुआ तो मिलेगी आपको. So that way it can be of help to you. Friends, I have given lectures on quite a few topics, and I have told my colleagues to share some of those lectures with you. So I am sharing you my lectures on various other topics also. So that also, if you get time, you may look at it. And to conclude, I would say I am thankful to Vikhroli Bar Association, and I would say, जिंदगी जब तक रहेगी, फुर्सत न होगी काम से, कुछ समय ऐसा निकालो, प्रेम करो विक्रोली बार एसोसिएशन.
थँक यू. तरी आपल्या सर्व वकील बांधवांना विनंती, आपले काही प्रश्न असेल तर सन्मानाने आपले संपत सर उत्तर देतील. काय असेल तर विचारावा. सोसायटीच्या रिलेटेड जे काय प्रश्न असेल नक्की साहेब त्याला उत्तर देतील. तर काय प्रश्न असेल तर आपण बोलावं, काय हरकत नाही त्याची.
मायनर फंड काढलेला आहे आणि समजा त्यातील काही लोक फ्लॅट धारक त्यांचे पैसे देत नसतील, म्हणजे जवळजवळ 2-3 वर्ष झालेले आहेत. 70-80 फ्लॅट धारक आहेत, त्याच्यातले अर्धा लोक रूम भाड्याने देऊन दुसरीकडे राहतात. त्यांना आपण ऑलरेडी सांगितलेलं रिक्वेस्ट केलेलं आहे, सोसायटीच्या वतीने लेटरही देतो आपण. पण ही सोबत पॉझिटिव्ह रिस्पॉन्स आपल्याला देत नसते. व्हॉट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप? आपण काय करू शकतो?
If you listen to me, I would say that ये बुक जो मेरे को दिया है ना, वैसे वो डिफॉल्टर को देख के आओ। ऐसा कौन सा अक्लमंद आदमी है आपके सोसाइटी में जब बैंक का रेट 6% चल रहा है, 5% चल रहा है, वो प्यार मोहब्बत से आपको 21% इंटरेस्ट दे रहा है, उसका कैपेसिटी डिफॉल्ट का कितना है? 50,000, लाख, 2 लाख, 5 लाख, उससे ज्यादा तो नहीं है। आमतौर में भी फ्लैट देखा जाए विक्रोली में वो करीबन 75 लाख से 1.5 करोड़ का है। तो जब तक आपका 40-50 लाख नहीं होता है तब तक मजा करो। वो आपके पास 2 लाख रुपए के लिए आपका 75 लाख का फ्लैट खुद के पास मॉर्गेज का रखा है, अपने को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? इंस्टेड ऑफ फाइटिंग, क्रिएटिंग एनिमिटी, लेट्स गो विद द नॉवेल अप्रोच। उसको बोलेगा यार तेरे को एक रिक्वेस्ट है, तेरे साथ में तेरे 2-4 दोस्त को भी बोलना डिफॉल्टर बन जावे। It's against our professional interest, but I'm tempted to share this thing.
I will make one question. हमारी बिल्डिंग का कन्वेंस हो गया है, रजिस्ट्रार के ऑफिस में गया है। अभी वो कह रहा है कि हर मेंबर से मुझे 2,000 रुपया दिला दो, मैं आपको सर्टिफिकेट दे देता हूँ। तो अभी तो आपने उसका आंसर दिया है, फिर भी थोड़ा सा खुल के और बताएंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा कि उसका क्या करें हम। वो 2000
मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ टीम कन्वेंस इज एज गुड एज ग्रुप कन्वेंस, दैट कन्वेंस। आज ये जो चीज है ना, the best way is to approach consumer court for deficiency of service and unfair trade practice और वहाँ पे उसको देना, because see what happens is रजिस्ट्रार के ऑफिस में ना it's a one way traffic, काही ध्यानी चला ये आपला मध्ये we have heard this voice many times, but the aspect is public does not have patience, specifically when builder is coming in the picture, उसको quick results चाहिए और उसके लिए वो बोलते हैं मैं redevelopment का contract मेरे को तो I will manage that. In the eyes of law there is a time limit on it. और मैं तो ये कहूँ उसको बोलता रिजेक्ट करना, तो क्या आ गया? एक बार वो रिजेक्ट करता है उसके पास एक आरटीआई डाल दो, आरटीआई डाल के उसके पास एक रीजंस मांगो, वापस कर डालेंगे। कौन से ग्राउंड में रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो यू हैव टू स्पेल आउट दैट रीजन और रीजन के बाद में रेक्टिफाई करेंगे, थोड़ी कसरत करके वापस करेंगे। एंड व्हेन ही इज पुटिंग हिज सिग्नेचर इन राइटिंग ही हैज टू थिंक ट्वाइस। हो सकता है 2000 में से एक मिनट कम हो जाए थोड़े दिन के बाद।
वही बात मैंने कहा सोसाइटी को वही है।
Obviously, yeah, he is bound to come. There are so many instances where they have to agree with us. एक खाली एक आरटीआई डाल दो, उसमें कितने तुमने ट्रांसफर किया, कितने डीप कन्वेंस दिया, किस तरह से दिया है, कौन से पेपर्स आए, कौन से नहीं आए, और उसके लिए मैंने आपको इनडायरेक्ट हिंट दिया। उसको एक आरटीआई में डालो कितने एडवोकेट्स के अलावा के लोगों के पास से आपने किया है, बिकॉज अंडर द प्रोविजन ऑफ द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट ओनली एन एडवोकेट कैन अपीयर बिफोर कोर्ट ऑफ क्वासी जुडिशियल अथॉरिटी एंड व्हाट एक्शंस यू हैव टेकन। और सोसाइटी पे एक्शन डालो, जो कंसल्टेंट को रखा है ना, इतना पैसा मैनेजिंग कमेटी को बोलो कितना तुम दे दो आप।
इसमें अभी वो 1800 रुपया है, किसी आदमी को भेज के बोलता अच्छा 1800 दे दो मैं सही कर, तो मैंने बोला कुछ जरूरत नहीं रुको, उसका अपन पहले चलेंगे उसके पास मैं बात करूँगा।
नहीं, tell him you reject it.
Okay.
Tell him you reject it.
Okay.
The moment he rejects it, he has to face, he has to give a reason, and that reason can easily be challenged.
Yes.
Plus, when you are doing RTI, on similar ground, you must have permitted someone else. So that will be your big weapon.
Right. You have already answered for that.
अजून कोणी
Can it be more than 10%?
No, it cannot be. See, you are a practicing lawyer here. Why don't you explore the possibility of extortion, criminal breach of trust? Give one notice to police, and बाद में ये तो तुम्हारी होम पिच है, वो सबको 5-7 कमेटी मेंबर्स हैं, वो सबको लगा देने का है। और थोड़ा और मजा करने का है ना, सपोजिंग नॉन ऑक्यूपेंसी चार्जेस मीन्स द पर्सन इज नॉट रिसाइडिंग, और मान लो आपका क्लाइंट दिल्ली में रहता है, तो दिल्ली में बिकॉज ही इज स्टेइंग एज पर द न्यू अमेंडमेंट्स इन द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, यू फाइल द केस इन दिल्ली, उसको दौड़ाओ कमेटी मेंबर्स को उधर आओ।
Tenant can be denied parking.
No, it cannot be denied because regulation 36 table 15 read with bylaw number 76 to 80 something is there. We say that if the flat is above 650 square feet, you are bound to give him. And many times societies are abusing this provision. The best approach is to go to consumer court or cooperative court and just file that particular thing. Once what happens is in society, they will not say no to you, but they will make you face the watchman. And one of the approaches which I always adopt is, wherever you are going, first start the record and ask, you speak now. Now we will talk because I got a weak memory. so that you are getting evidence, and state-based police station, you have to forward that particular recording. This has happened.
But suppose in flat total area is above 650, but society is not having a.
Can the builder may submit the file to the municipal commissioner and obtain certificate for deficiency in parking, and by paying a certain premium, it can be controlled. But what happens is there are instances where builder has allotted free parking to one person, and one person does not have a parking. Now taking the size development regulation 36 table 15, you can say that person who has got free parking is not entitled to park the vehicle, and that is precisely is happening at many places. Moreover, not only that, your visitor is also entitled to parking, because when you look at the parking plan, 10% of the parking space is reserved for visitors.
Sir, my question is related to parking. What is the height of still parking? Means if you see in the Vikhroli nearby area, there is a 23rd floors of still parking. It is a legal or illegal?
No, as I mentioned to you, see, this is more common in JVP area. What they have done is, the building is designed in such a way that parking is shown on upper floor, and in which with the passage of time is converted into a bedroom or a hall, something that way. When you look at the parking plan, you will get the exact position, how many parkings are there, what is the height of the parking, all those things you will find there. Best thing is RTI, where you get the plan.
Is there any regulation related to the still parking, means that much kind of height or?
Your question, I will elaborate on your question. Many times what happens is there are certain areas that are called RG area, recreational ground area. Those areas are meant for playing of the children or garden or such activities. But because there is a shortage of space, people, what do societies do? They convert the RG area into parking area, which is illegal, and you can get it demolished.
Society has passed the resolution that you cannot park on the common passage, but deliberately some person will park their vehicle. So what will be the action?
Society has got full power, they can leave it.
Preference, the rest of the preference is given to 50% of purchases. So can you object on it?
100% you can object. There cannot be a discrimination between old and new, because it's a cooperative society, and in cooperative society all are equal. The beauty of cooperative act is all for one and one for all. Now for example, you have got 5 flats, but share certificate is only supposed to be given to you one. And voting, whether you have got 5 flats, a flat of 500 square feet of 50,000, you only have one vote. The idea of cooperative society is not only contribution of capital, something that does not make it a gospel truth. Whatever builder normally do is they use the word allot. They don't even write it in the agreement. And the classic example of this is here in Vikhroli, Godrej and Boys. On Godrej and one Shetty versus Godrej and Boys, Manek engineer and Adv Godrej. Criminal case was filed in sessions. Trial was to be started, but I am told that Godrej went to High Court and has obtained a stay. In this particular order, I will just read out the relevant for parking against Adv Godrej. I'll just share with you, which you may.
बरोबर जेव्हा हँडओव्हर करतो बिल्डिंग, जेव्हा चीफ प्रमोटर जो असतो मुख्य प्रवर्तक, पहिले हंगामी कमिटी स्थापित केली जाते. त्या स्थापितचा तो कार्यकाळ किती वर्षाचा असतो?
1 year provisional committee.
From which date?
From the date you are taking over charge. For example, it is October he is taking charge. Maximum period is 1 year. As we know, cooperative society account ends on 31st March. So the first committee's tenure is 31st March, and whatever time is given for holding the general body.
नाही काय झालं या एका प्रकरणामध्ये असं की मे मध्ये त्यांची पहिली कमी हे झाली, अपॉइंटमेंट झाली, पण त्यांनी चार्ज हँडओव्हर दिलेलंच नव्हतं, मॅन्युअली झालं नव्हतं. ते हँडओव्हर त्यांना ना सप्टेंबरला भेटलेला आहे. ते कन्सिडर ते की सप्टेंबर टू ऑगस्ट होणार की परत
Accounting year ends on 31st March. The tenure by 31st March he has to complete it, and when he is not, and the builder has delayed, to what builder is a mistake. समजा सोसायटी झाली आहे जून मध्ये, आणि ते लोक चार्जेस कमिटीला मे मध्ये देते. They keep mum with the collusion of the register. That all these are offenses.
सन्माननीय आजचे आणि आमच्या वकिलांना मार्गदर्शन करणारे संपत सरांचा खूप खूप आभार मानतो. कारण त्यांनी जे कोऑपरेटिव्ह क्षेत्रातली जेवढी माहिती होती ती दिलेली आहे आणि आमच्या वकील बांधवांना सुद्धा ती प्राप्त झालेली आहे आणि त्यांच्या प्रश्नाचे उत्तर सुद्धा त्यांना मिळालेले आहे. कारण ही फौजदारी मध्ये आपण प्रॅक्टिस करताना या गोष्टीची जास्त नॉलेज नसते, पण आज ते आपल्याला प्राप्त झालेलं आहे. तरी मी त्यांचा मनापासून आभार मानतो. सर्वांनी टाळ्या वाजवून त्यांचं स्वागत करावं. तसेच कॅमेरामॅन यांचा सुद्धा मी मनापासून आभार मानतो. आणि हा कार्यक्रम संपलेला आहे. सर्व वरिष्ठ वकिलांचं आणि जे पाहुणे आलेले आहेत त्यांचा सुद्धा मनापासून आभार मानतो आणि हा कार्यक्रम संपला असं मी जाहीर करतो. धन्यवाद.